And so it is very likely we are now on the verge of the big wars. We are at a critical moment in history, and Syria is the center of the chessboard. And it is necessary for the Russian leadership to ensure that they are not deceived. Be careful, be careful, be careful, because those who you're dealing with have PhDs in deception. One last word. Yes, Syria is the center of the chessboard in Akhir-uz-Zaman, or the last age. Yes, indeed, we believe that the three main actors of Akhir-uz-Zaman, or the end time, are eventually all going to be in Damascus at the same time. And so the battle for Damascus is at the heart of Akhir-uz-Zaman. Russia has to be very careful, because if an attack takes place on Syria and Russia is lured into the war, our understanding of the Quran is that the verse of the Quran which is located in Surah Al-Rum, or the surah which is named after the Eastern Orthodox Christians, which begins with the verse Ghulibatir Rum, Rome has been defeated, but then goes on to say وَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ غَلَبِهِمْ سَيَغْلِبُونَ. I mentioned in my last lecture that this actually took place at that time while the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was alive. The Rome was defeated, and then within bid'a sinin, 3 to 9 years, Rome overcame the Persian Empire and emerged victorious. And I suggested that this is going to be repeated in the end time, that when Russia is baited into this war, which is coming, which is around the corner, while so many of the scholars of Islam are either asleep or drinking Tetari, I don't know why, they will not comment on contemporary affairs using the Quran and the Sunnah. I don't know why. When Russia is baited into this war, and the Russians are ready and willing, when President Vladimir Putin was flying back from the conference in Durban, at 3 o'clock in the morning he gave the order for a naval exercise in the Black Sea. 3 o'clock in the morning. And Russia is going to be lured into the war. And we are standing at the doorstep now of that great war, which is going to lead to many other wars. The message we have to send to you today, if our interpretation of the Quran is correct, is that you should not be dismayed by any initial setback or defeat. But that if we are correct, that you will eventually overcome the NATO forces. And that victory will come at the time when you join with us in that alliance, and that alliance conquers Constantinople. This is what Prophet Muhammad has prophesied. Allah's blessings be upon him. He has prophesied that we will conquer Constantinople. It is time for Turkish Muslims to listen to me dispassionately. Put aside all your nationalist fervor and listen with thinking intact. That the conquest of Constantinople prophesied by Nabi Muhammad ﷺ has not as yet taken place. It is still to come. And at that time when it comes, and every Turkish Muslim who despises Turkish membership in NATO, which despises Turkish military alliance with Israel, which despises Turkish economic ties with Israel, where we were buying so many weapons from Israel. You despise that. And you are opposed to Zionism. Every Turkish Muslim will on that day join in the army, about which the Prophet said, لَتَفْتَحَنَّ الْقُسْطَنْطِنِيَّةَ, you'll most certainly conquer Constantinople. وَلَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ آمِرُهَا, and what a wonderful Amir or commander that will be. وَلَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشُ ذَلِكَ الْجَيْشُ, and what a wonderful army that would be, of which he will be the commander, which will conquer Constantinople. Not only would the Turkish Muslims be members of that armed force which will conquer Constantinople, those Turkish Muslims which despise NATO, but the whole world of Kurd, the Kurdish people who have been oppressed, those Kurds who have been oppressed, and who still, like Salahuddin Ayyubi, have the love of Islam in their hearts. All of them are going to be part of that army, and we'll jointly struggle to liberate Constantinople. The liberation of Constantinople is part and parcel of the grand scenario which will witness Rome being victorious over its enemies. And the victory of Rome spells the end of Israel. And so we